morning, everyone. Welcome back and happy Sunday. So, I am excited to do this 20-month Freeform lock journey update. 2 years. In May of this year, it'll be 2 solid years that I had my Freeform locks. And I was just on the elevator at the hospital where I worked the other day, and this lady was giving me a compliment on my hair. It's just like it's really neat and it's smooth and it's well put together and it's well kept. And I'm like, thank you. And she asked me, did I stop retwisting my locks? And I'm like, yes, I did. So back during the peak of the pandemic in May of 2020, I decided to stop retwisting my locks. Prior to that, I would retwist my individual locks probably like every month. I would say maybe 6 to 8 weeks, right? Every 6 to 8 weeks. And I realized that it was, I think, having a negative impact on the strength of my locks. I just felt like it wasn't in my best interest to continue doing that. So I ended up stopping doing that. And I noticed a tremendous difference in terms of the thickness of my hair, the volume of my hair, right? And we all want voluminous, very thick, lively locks. And so I saw that change in my locks. I'm going to show you guys the amount of growth that I have since my last update that I did. But I like the style of Freeform locks. I feel like it fits me, it fits my personality, it fits the stage in my life where I'm at right now. I've had my locks for a very long time. So I started my initial locks back in 2005. I believe I was a junior in college at Florida State University. And I remember, I think it was from my sister or someone in my family let me know that my sister was going into labor and delivering my nephew. So I got my things together. And I was in Tallahassee, by the way. My sister was in St. Augustine, where she lives. And I remember having to let my colleague know, because I didn't have a car at the time. I'm like, hey, my sister is like delivering her baby. He was like, let's go. And so like we got together and he drove. It was like in the middle of the night. Yo, we drove that 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive from Tallahassee to St. Augustine, Florida. I got to the hospital and my sister, I think, had already delivered the baby. But I was sitting with her in the hospital room and I was like bored out of my mind. And then I just started, you know, the thing that we do, right? When we have locks, just start twirling the lock around our finger. And I'm just like, And so at the time, I think I just had a fro, right? I had natural hair. And it dawned on me, it's just like, oh, this will be a great time to start your locks, right? You have nothing but time and opportunity. And so that's when I started my dreadlocks. I don't mind calling my locks dreads because I think it has a historical relevance to it, which a lot of people don't know. So when you hear people say, oh, I don't call my locks dreads, that's a negative connotation. They don't even know the history behind it, right? So that's a telltale sign right there. But if you know the history behind dreads, then you know that it actually was used for a significant purpose, right? To scare, it was a tactic actually used to communicate a message to the enemy. So go back and do your history, your research on the significance of dread. Like, where does that term come from? But yeah, I've had my locks ever since. So we're talking about 2005 and we're in 2020. That's what, 17, 18 years? That's a very long time, y'all. It's like, wow. And so my nephew, who was born at the time when I started my locks, he is now graduated from high school. He graduated last year. He's in his first year of college. So it gives you an idea, y'all. I'm about to take this towel down. So I actually just got out the shower. I washed my hair. I'm going to show you guys some of the products that I use to do my hair when I do wash it and when I maintain my locks. So I actually started using Dr. Bronner's probably back, I think, when I moved. Did I start? Yeah, I think I started when I moved back to New York in 2020. So this is the soap I'm using now. It's actually called Hemp Eucalyptus Pure Castile Soap. This is what I use to not only wash my body, but wash my hair is very effective, I think, in cleansing it out and getting all the grit. And I call it the gunk, like just the buildup in my hair, my locks out. So I'm going to take this off. And I am actually going to go through each and every Freeform lock and style it. And I'm going to do this live on camera so you guys can get a chance to see what that looks like. So when I started my Freeform locks back in May of 2020, I came up with the idea to do 12 locks. Now, I don't think I knew it was going to be 12 when I started it. I was just kind of like playing around in my hair blindly. I didn't even do it in front of a mirror. I was just sitting on my bed in my Airbnb that I was renting at the time. And yeah, I was just fiddling around in my hair and I was sectioning it off. And I decided, okay, this is how I'm going to do it. And it just turned out to be this way. So you guys will see once I take my bun down that it's a strategic kind of setup to it, right? So I have a crown. I actually started out in the back with 3 Freeform locks in the back. And then I made a crown around my head of 6. And then I have 3 in the middle. So that makes a total of 12, which I call my African tripod. So I'm going to put this towel to the side. And how are you guys doing who are watching? Feel free to interact. I don't bite. I know a lot of times people like to just prefer to just watch me and not say anything, and that's cool too. But I don't bite, you guys, so feel free to join in. So I was in Harlem yesterday. I went there for an event that I thought was in person at the Schomburg Research Center Harlem Library, and it wasn't in person, it was online. So I just found myself just using that time to check out and explore the library to see what exhibits they had, which they had a exhibit on comics, the black comics, right? I saw that, and then I went to the actual bookstore, the shop that they have there on site, and I got this beautiful mug. So you guys, all this long time I did not know that Issa, what's her name? Issa Rae was the person who coined the phrase, I'm rooting for everybody black. So I love this mug here, and it's 2-sided. So on this side it says that, and then on the other side it has this beautiful design, African design. So I made some tea here that I'm going to be sipping on intermittently while I design my hair. It is, I think, matcha tea with burdock root. You loving the hair, waiting for the reveal. Oh, thank you, Charisma. I guess I can count on you to interact with me. I was just saying how some people just prefer to sit back and watch and they don't say anything, but it's good that you have joined the live. So yeah, I didn't realize that this was actual phrase coined by Issa Rae, and I've actually made a painting that I'm looking at now that says I'm rooting for everything black. All right. How often do you maintain your locks? I know it's different for different people. And there's a common misconception, which I might do a whole separate video on, like the myths of dreadlocks. There's a whole misconception on regarding the maintenance of dreadlocks. A lot of people think that everyone who has dreads, just we neglect our hair and we don't do anything to it, and that could be so far away from the truth. We may not wash our hair every day, because I don't think it's in anyone's best interest to wash our hair every day. But yeah, we do our hair. So you know, for me, there's no rhyme or reason necessarily to doing my washing my hair. I wash my hair whenever I feel like it's time for me to wash it, which could be once. It could be once a month. It can be once every 2 months. It could be however long. I know, like, there are times when I may wash my hair, like, let's say I'm out. Like, let's say it's hot as fuck outside in the summertime, and I know I've been sweating a lot, tremendously. Then that may trigger me to wash my hair. But I don't wash it, like, often. I like to burn incense when I do my videos. Like I said, it helps me to ground. And it's aromatherapy. I actually sent my father some incense. I sent him a whole package in the mail over the weekend. He got it yesterday. He was so grateful for it. It was like, this is a lot of stuff you sent me. I was just like, yeah, Dad, you know how I do. You know us. All right. So I'm going to show you guys the products. So I showed you guys the shampoo that I use, which is the Dr. Bronner's 18-in-1 hemp eucalyptus. So I like this scent, I think, better than all the others. On my face, I actually use the... it slipped my mind just that fast. It's in the green bottle. Let's say that. You need some incense. Oh, I keep a whole pack. So there's a store called Medina out in downtown Brooklyn that they actually manufacture incense and oils, and you can go there and get things wholesale. So I think I get like 100 pack of incense. Each 100 pack I think is only like $2. It's very inexpensive. Whereas if you try to pick up a pack of incense on the side of the street from one of the vendors, they're going to charge you $5. So I learned the trick to that. Just go to the source and get it directly from the manufacturer. So I went there and I went all out. I think I spent like $20 and I got a whole bunch of incense. Alright, also I'm going to use some rose water on my hair. I love this. So when I was in the elevator, the lady was like noticing how slick my hair was and so neat and fresh looking, and I let her know what I use on my hair. Like, it's no secret for me. So she never heard of rose water. I'm like, yeah, girl, you gotta get you some rose water. So a lot of these things that I learned about just by being on Instagram. I follow a lot of like health conscious black people on Instagram. What kind of scent? So I got... Alright, I can pull the whole bag out. I'm going to show you what I got. So this is the one I'm burning. I'm burning Lick Me All Over right here. And this is a company name. I know it's in reverse. It may be difficult to see. But they're called Medina. They're out in Brooklyn. If you're not in New York City, you probably can call them. If you just type in the name Medina, M-A-D-I-N-A, on Google, and just probably reach out to them directly, and probably you can, they have a website, medinaonline.com, so you probably can just go in the website and order these things wholesale, and you're gonna pay like pennies on the dollar for it. So this is one of the fragrances, but I went all out. So I have a bunch of packs, which I've been going through these incense. Lick Me All Over, Black Coconut. You have your own rose water too. Yes, a lot of people have been sleeping on it. This is Dolce & Gabbana. Hello, Sarah. How are you? Where are you guys tuning in from, by the way? So, yeah, I follow a lot of like health conscious people. People who post like, products for the hair, for the skin, food, practices, like all of the above. So, that's how I find out about like Dr. Bronner's and rose water. And so I also use oil. Now this I put in my hair first. You're in VA. That's right, I remember. This is something I've been doing since like high school, right? This is nothing new. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know about the tea tree oils and the jojoba oil that you can put on your scalp. It's good to stimulate your scalp. Sometimes it stimulates like hair growth. And you get these from your regular beauty supply stores. So I'm going to start with this. And then this is a knockoff version of the jam. Now, the jam, I learned that, the jam is good. I was using jam on my hair, right, to style my hair. But I realized the knockoff version is actually better than the actual version. Like, when you think of the consistency of it, it's way much better. And I tested this out because I'm like, okay, when I would use the original jam, it would work, but I would realize, like, my hair would be still kind of frizzy. Like, some hairs would come out. And this is when I want to actually have my hair kind of slicked back. There are times when I want to have the nappy look, right, with the afro and the curls, like, sticking out. But, when I want the slick look, like, yeah, I would like for all of my hairs to be, slicked back. And I realized the original jam brand of this didn't do it. The off-brand did it. So I think they're about the same exact price. So I'm going to use this in this video. It's a yellow jar. I think the jam comes in like a, is it green or blue? It's a different color jar. Alright, so I'm just going to put this oil on my scalp along the parts of my Freeform locks. And I don't cut my hair. I think there have been like, I don't know, a few times that I've trimmed my hair since I had my locks in general. Right? So maybe you guys missed it, but I was saying that I originally started my locks way back in 2005. So there's been over 17 years that I've had locks, right? But then I started my Freeform locks. Some people don't even know what the hell is Freeform. But Freeform basically is when you just let them grow out. You don't really like manipulate them. That's the difference, right? Most people who have locks, they twist them, you know, themselves, or they go to the beauty salon and they get them maintained that way. Freeform is just, you just let them grow. Now, you may do things to them, like you guys are going to see what I'm going to do here. I'm running out. So, I just added the oil to my scalp, and I just like to massage it like that. It feels good. Not only does it feel good, but yeah, it does, like, it has many benefits when you massage your scalp, especially for you guys who ever have gone to the Asian masseuse, and like they know what they're doing. They really like go into your scalp and massage it. I feel like it releases like neurochemicals in your brain when it does that, like endorphins and dopamine. Feels so good. So alright, we're going to get started. Oh, and I have some rubber bands. I have these little tiny rubber bands here that I'm going to make sure I pull out new ones, because I tend to reuse my rubber bands. So this bag is filled with like brand new rubber bands, but also like rubber bands that I've used before. So I want to try to find the new ones so that they're smaller and they'll fit tighter around my hair, because I don't like to double. I don't like to, like when I put the rubber band on, I just put it on one time. I don't like to double it. I only need 12, right? It's going to be very simple. You guys will see. I've done this before, but it's been a while, so I figured I'll come again today and show you guys what it looks like. There's been a lot of growth. Yeah, I trim my hair, but I don't really like cut it. There have been like, I can count like on one hand how many times I've actually cut my locks, or trimmed my locks, shall I say. People ask me, are you going to cut your hair? Hell no, I'm never going to cut my hair, knock on wood, but I'm pretty sure that's true. Never going to cut it. Alright, so I'm going to start, I always start with the back. Even when I used to do hair, a lot of you guys don't know, this is before social media time, but I actually used to do hair back when I was in high school, and like somewhat of the early years after I graduated high school. Yeah, when I was in college, I used to do hair. When people find out you know how to do hair, yo, you get clientele. So I never had issue with finding clientele, because I got clients through word of mouth. And I just got tired of it. You know how you do something and you're good at it, right? And you're successful. It gets tiring of doing hair so much. So I stopped. But that was just, for me, it was like a side hustle. Alright, so I'm going to swing around before I actually start styling. I'm going to swing around. I know my lighting is not the best, but we're going to make do what we can. You know, this mug was like $14. I'm like, seriously though? Seriously? Seriously? But because I like it, I went ahead and got it. Alright. So, I think you guys can see. So, this is what the back looks like. And it's 3 in the back. You guys can see like the amount of growth that I've attained since I started it. So here, you can tell when I kind of like separate it like that. You can tell how much growth I've attained. So how many inches is that? Shit, that's probably like 6 inches. It's a lot, right? And when I started these, you guys can see that, right? When I started these, I actually used rubber bands. So the same way I'm about to restyle my hair is actually how I started them. Where, like I said, I separated, then I just used some gel. Why does it smell like marijuana? Maybe someone else is smoking marijuana outside. I don't smoke marijuana. Nothing wrong with marijuana, though, shall I say. I just don't smoke at all, period. But yeah, when I started these, I actually used the black protein styling gel and rubber bands. So, put this here. I love the way this smells. You love ganja? I heard that. Yeah. In my former days, I definitely used to get down. A lot of people don't know that. That's not something I talk about necessarily, but oh yeah. Oh yeah, I used to get down. But I stopped. And I used to live out in Los Angeles for 4 years, so everybody know fucking who has the best marijuana. It's out there on the West Coast, yo. They got marijuana down to a science out there in California. I mean, it's a whole industry. That's what they do, right? That's like Hollywood. Hollywood lives in California and LA. That's what they do, yo. That's their specialty. So you know the best comes from over there. Alright, so it doesn't take long. I just like slick my hair down with the gel and then I put a rubber band at the base of it. And of course you can twist it like that. I don't really do that necessarily. It's not even needed, yo. This is what I'm doing. I have to emphasize. This is not even needed. I just like to do it just to see my progress. That's the main reason why I do it. It's legal in Colorado, right? I think you can say Ganjarado. You're in Colorado, I would assume. So I think Colorado actually was one of the first states that legalized marijuana for recreational use. New York just legalized it. The sale of it. Well, no, actually, they legalized the possession of marijuana, I think, back in 2021, but they didn't legalize the sale of it, which is kind of backwards, right? How are you going to legalize the possession but not the sale of it? So it's not legal to sell it, though there are somehow dispensaries, not that many, but you can find like dispensaries that will sell not necessarily THC marijuana, but they sell the CBD marijuana. So it's still like the flower. You walk into these dispensaries here in New York City, you'll still see like it's like the flower plant, but it's not THC, right? And for people who smoke weed, buying flower that's CBD is like a waste of time. You don't really get the immediate effects, right? The immediate psychotropic effects from smoking CBD. But it can have a calming effect. Like there are products, they're like body butters that have CBD. I remember living out in LA and I bought this body butter with CBD in it. and I would like rub it on me, and it would have like this tingling sensation when I rub it on me. I used to love that. But I work in healthcare, and interesting enough, I realized, yo, they did not drug test. Now maybe they did. Who knows what type of test they did? Because you know you have to go in for like the TB test, and because it's a hospital, they did it on site, right? This is part of my onboarding process when I started at the hospital last year. And they did they drew blood from me, and they said it was for like to test like for TB. But who knows what else they tested for? They probably tested for everything. Drugs and all kind of shit. So I ain't taking no chances, you know. And I realized, like, you know, since I have not been smoking, I feel better, honestly. Because, yo, I used to be a heavy smoker. This is off the record, but I used to smoke probably anybody on their table. And smoke so much that I realized, like, yo, smoke a lot. Alright, so, I'll show you guys what it looks like. I mean, nothing too fancy. You can see that, right? Nothing too fancy. I think part of me doing this is just for my own gratitude, I guess. I like the way my new growth feels, right? It's just, for me, it's just a whole, I don't know, it's a process of just feeling my new growth on the tips of my fingers, right? Not that this style I'm actually going to maintain and keep, and, you know, it's not like a style, it's just something that I do periodically. So, moving along. As I was saying, how I designed it, or how, you guys can hear the crackling here. That's me separating my locks that somehow naturally grow together. That's just how they do. They have a mind of their own. But when I started my locks, I created this crown. I'll show you guys in a minute. And this is 3 here at the top. When I walk through Harlem, I always used to get like inundated with people, like women, African women, trying to solicit my interest in getting my hair done by them. Of course, I always say no. I never let anyone do my hair, ever. Oh, you guys know I forgot to do this. So I guess I forgot because my hair is already wet. So when I do style my hair, though, I do use this as a base, right, to prep it, and then I add the styling gel on it. But yeah, walking down 125th Street, there's a lot of like African shops there, and they specialize in like braiding, you know, the things Africans do, braiding and natural hair design. So, but I do my own hair. Something my dad always taught me. If there's something you know how to do yourself, do it yourself. And that just stuck with me for some reason. Thank you. CBD is nice for health reasons. Yeah, I heard. Alright, so I'm using the rose water. And just spray it on my scalp, on my roots, and my hair. I like the smell of it. It's like hydrating. And so I'm going to spin around and show you guys. So this is actually a crown of 6 here. Starting with this one. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. And I always say I like this one. This is my favorite one because it's so thick. I don't think I've counted how many individual locks are in this Freeform lock here. But yeah, it's pretty thick. So, you say you like my Bob Marley wrap? My wrap or a dress? This is a dress. This is not a wrap, yo. I guess it looks like a wrap. I know some people wear like wraps as dresses, but this is definitely a dress that's made to be worn as a dress. And I just have a shirt underneath it. So you guys saw I put that oil in my hair, and it's not uncommon for the oil to run down. No, you're good. I know that you don't mean any ill intent, so you're good. Thank you. I like when people, you know, are kind and respectful. So glad that you are tuning in. I also like to get to know you guys too. When you guys watch me, to get to know me, but I like to get to know you. Oh yeah, I'm saying it like runs down in my eye. But thankfully, I guess this oil is natural, so it doesn't cause any harm when it gets in my eye. There's no harm done to my eye, thankfully. But I can feel it in my eye because my eye is like blurry, but it's fine. Alright, so which slide should I start with? I guess I'll start with the front. Colorado. I think it was Colorado. I tell this story before where I went there. I had a layover in Colorado. I was flying either from New York to LA or the other way around. And the layover was in Colorado. And it was a good layover. Probably like, I don't know, 2-3 hour layover. And this is when, of course, they had legalized marijuana, recreational marijuana. And I left the airport. And I found me a dispensary close by the airport. Got me some weed. I rolled it up. And at the Colorado airport, there's a place where you can smoke. Like after you go through check-in, right? I went through security and all that. And I was waiting on my plane to arrive. And there's a place like outdoors somehow connected to the gates. And I went out there and I fucking burned down out that motherfucker. And I felt like, with the weed being legal in Colorado, I wasn't committing a crime. Not one point did I feel that I was breaking the law. But now that I think about it, I'm like, damn, was I breaking the law? I hope not. Shit. But that was a long time ago. I always say maybe one day I may start back smoking, but I don't really have a reason to be honest. Don't. Like, some people say they need, to smoke, it calms their nerves, but so moment of truth, and this is a little treat for you guys who are watching this video, whether on Facebook or on YouTube. I haven't really said this necessarily before, but I think you guys probably can put two and two together, right? I know it's kind of cliche to assume that people who have locked smoke marijuana, but it's not uncommon, right? So I started smoking back when I was 16. And 16 years old, that was back in the year of 2000, right? Because I graduated high school in 2002 when I was 18. So we're talking about starting in the year of 2000 at 16 years old, all the way through 2018. Yo, damn, that's a long time, right? I think I'm saying this right. Yep, 2018, I stopped. It was August 24th, I think. August 24th, 2018, I stopped. Because I felt like, I fucking smoked too goddamn much. And we talking about this. I was out in LA. So I was in LA from 2016 through 2020 working on my doctoral studies. Which gives you an idea, like, yeah, I was fucking getting high while working on my PhD. Even in my former graduate program, yes. So, and I feel like it's no secret in a sense because people know when motherfuckers smoke weed, right? You can see it like on their face and their lips. You can smell it on their clothes, right? All laws are illegal, okay? For real. So, yeah, I got to the point where I was just like, I didn't like, because if you look at my videos, I know some of you guys probably just started watching my videos recently, but if you go way back, right, I started vlogging actually when I was in New York. I moved to New York in 2014. So I kind of started vlogging around like 2015. I picked up really heavily vlogging when I moved to LA in 2016. I was vlogging like very regularly, and you guys can look at the videos. You'll see like my face. Look at my skin. Like, I just didn't like my skin necessarily. I still had a cute face, but I can see a dramatic difference. Given that I stopped, smoking back in 2018. And we're talking more in 2022 now. So it's like, in August, it'll be 4 years that I haven't smoked anything. And I quit cold turkey. I was just like, I'm just going to stop, right? I had my mind, like, I was very focused. I had my mind set, like, all right, I'm going to, because I know, of course, working in the field of mental health as a psychologist, I know, right? I know, like, those triggers and, like, having paraphernalia around, that can cause a relapse. So I got rid of, like, all of my lighters, which I had a whole gang of lighters. I can probably open up a whole store just selling lighters, how many lighters I collected, because every time you go to the dispensary out in LA, you get a free lighter. Well, at least the one I went to in Hollywood. I used to live in Hollywood, California, like minutes away from the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And yeah, I had so many lighters, so I collected all of my lighters from all over my apartment. I went around my apartment just picking up all that shit and got all my ashtrays, all that shit, put it, I think, in a bag, and I just threw all that shit out. And I told myself, all right, this is going to be my last joint. I'm going to smoke my very last one. Not smoking after this. And I stuck with it. I was very committed. So, you say same? Oh, sorry, I missed that. Because there's a delay when I say things and when you guys respond. Oh, you had a lot of lighters too? You say, I have 33 Bob Marley lighters. You know what? The number 33 is very significant because in my dream, the number 33 appeared in my dream last night where I was at some drugstore getting, I think I was getting like sanitary napkins, but I also was getting like, I got a fucking bag of Vaseline, the little tiny, containers of the Vaseline with different flavors, like the coconut, like the cherry flavor, and it was 33 in the pack. That was weird. I know it has to be some kind of meaning to that. 33, I remember on the pack, because I read it to make sure the price was correct in my dream, and I matched, the number on the package with like the label for the price, and it was like 33 in there. Isn't that something? I'm just like, 33. Yeah, I believe in numerology too. Right. Those were the days, y'all, reflecting back. LA. Going to those dispensaries. And they have so many fucking types of weed. It's insane. Ugh. I used to get hybrid though. Hybrid of sativa and indica. And the funny thing, when I used to live with my dad, right? So I grew up in the same household, being raised by my mother and my father up until the age of 12. Then my mom and dad separated when I was 12. Took me and my sister and I lived with my mom for 4 years apart from my dad. And then I ran away from my mom's house and moved back in with my dad when I was 16 years old. So from 16 to 18, my dad raised me as a single father. And I was a typical teenager doing typical teenage shit, right? Including, that's when I started smoking weed at 16. And his rule was like in my house. And of course, I broke that rule. And I invited my friends over. And I remember one day he came home. He came home early, scared the shit out of me. And I was in the living room with my friends, and we were just all hanging out, kicking and shit, drinking and smoking. And I'm like seeing my dad's car pull up in a driveway, maybe like, I don't know, 45 minutes, an hour early. And I'm just like, yo, y'all got to get the fuck out. So I made all my friends leave, run out the back door. And then I tried to, of course, cover it up with some spray that he used to use in the house. Of course, that shit ain't work. Right? Parents know, they've been there, done that shit. So my dad come in the house, and he was one of those, like, very meticulous to detail type of people. And he's looking at the floor, and he's like, somebody been in this house? I was like, nobody ain't been here. He's like, yeah, people been in this house. I see the footprints. Not that it was dirt, but he could see the imprint of shoes in the carpet, right? And I'm like, nah. I was like, that was me. He was like, I can smell, what did he call that shit? Pot, I think he called it. My mom called it reefer. I'm like, nah. She said dope. No, my mom called it reefer and she calls it dope. She's like, smoking that dope. I'm like, no, this is not no motherfucking dope. But yeah, my dad, I think he called it pot. He was like, yeah, I smell it. And I was like, oh no. My friends, like, they didn't come in here. I met them outside. They were smoking outside, and that's what you smell. And then I came inside. I just had to make up some lie. He was so upset at me. He was like, all right, leave and do not come back until sunfall. He told me to leave, yo. He wouldn't look at me. I was like, all right, shit, that's not really a punishment, but I made it seem like it was. I walked away with a sad face. It's like, I'll take that. Those were the days. But I say that story to say, like, okay, so years later, when I was in college, I came to visit my dad, right? And we were talking about marijuana. Now, this is after, of course, I'm grown. I'm in college. I'm out the house. And he was like, oh, we gotta smoke it sometime together. I'm like, interesting how parents change, right? So when I'm underage, it's a big deal to smoke marijuana. But then I'm off to college and I come visit and he's like, oh, we gotta do it sometimes. He's giving me like pointers on like making sure I get it from the right people and the strength of it. I'm just like, okay, interesting. I never smoked with my dad though, ever. I felt that would be weird as shit. But I know there are people who smoke with their parents. It's not me. Obama used to smoke. I had to put that in there, right? So much stigma surrounding smoking. People learn that you smoke fucking weed. They want to castigate you and shit. Obama used to smoke marijuana. You can tell, though, with them lips he got. You can tell that motherfucker smoke. More than damn weed, I think, at that. Alright, so I have 2 more left of my crown to do. It's coming together. I need to get my nails done, y'all. It's been so long since I went to the salon to get my nails, my fingernails, and my toenails done. I'm like way overdue. You are one of my favorites on Facebook. I apologize, but I have to go to work now. All right, have a great day at work. Don't apologize for that. Some people are so nice about it that they actually make an announcement when they're coming and going. And then some people just like don't even say anything when they enter the room or when they leave. So it's okay. My videos are actually pre-recorded on Facebook Live, and then I download them and upload them to YouTube. So I get that Facebook doesn't notify a lot of people because I have over 12,000 followers on Facebook, and usually when you look at the viewer count on my live videos is under fucking 5 people usually, unless it's something like, I mean, it gotta be one of those topics, right? Probably a trending topic, and then you'll have more people. But yeah, it's not. So I'm used to having a few people, sometimes no one, in my live videos when I'm live on Facebook, and that's fine with me because I know that I'm not just recording it for the people on Facebook, but it's going to be downloaded and uploaded to YouTube for my YouTube followers, which I tend to get more viewership on YouTube. So it's just a different look. I realize, like, when I smooth down my edges, I look different, right? A little bit. A little bit. I'm gonna make a whole separate video on this fucking dating shit, because these Negroes is something else, y'all. And I've actually just really become more apathetic, I think, towards dating in general. It's just like, whatever, you know. This is a waste of time, you know. Like, for me, I think someone said this, like, the higher up women go, irrespective of race, right? The higher up we go with the socioeconomic ladder when it comes to education, earning, income, status, and I will have to add, having a higher degree of consciousness, it's just we have a lower tolerance for bullshit, right? And we have higher expectations of men, which a lot of men in the general population just don't meet. They don't qualify. So that's what makes it difficult for us in the dating pool. It shrinks the dating pool really down to a very impossible size, right? To find a mate when you consider all of those things. And so, but for me, it's just like, no, you have people say, oh, well, you know, you're getting up in age and you don't have any kids, so you got to lower your standards and just take what you can get. That's bullshit. Who the fuck say that? That's bullshit. Y'all out y'all goddamn mind. You think I'm just going to sit up here and say, oh, well, because I'm 38, then I'm just going to lower my standards and just date any... Fuck that. Are you kidding me? Yo, my personality would never allow me to do that, right? Like, I couldn't imagine just being with someone, just existing and spending time. It's the same space and time with the person that I'm not attracted to, number one. That they just don't meet my my preference, right? And for me, like, because, yes, I'm more conscious, politically conscious, I do prefer a certain kind of man. You know, these men, you have to be respectful towards women. You have to value women, black women, right? And you have to have a degree of self-love. If you love yourself as a black man, then you'll love me as a black woman. A lot of men are self-hating, right? They may say, oh, queen, you're so beautiful. But really deep down inside, they hate themselves, right? And you can pick up on that. Like, nah, you're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to mistreat me. That should go without saying. So I would rather be by myself and fucking transition from this existence and this dimension childless before I settle. Nah, I'm not going to settle. I don't care. So I stand firm on that. But I just finished my crown. Alright, so I'm going to do a spin around. I'll show you guys. This is the lowest the chair goes, so maybe I have to slide down a little bit. I love it! Oh, yes! I love it, I love it, I love it, you guys. Me love, me love. Alright, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten breakfast yet. Because I woke up, I got in the shower, I made me some tea, and I'm live. I love this mug. And I can drink it from this side. Alright. Last part is the middle within the crown that I'm going to do. So look, I mean, another reason why I like doing these updates and smoothing out my freeform locks. Number one, yes, it helps maintain it, right? Separate it because they start to grow together. And then I just get to see the amount of growth, and I can show you guys. So look at that. So this is when I started it, right? And I put the rubber band on there. When I put the rubber band on there and kept it on there, it didn't really require that long of a amount of time to keep the rubber band on, so that they began to freeform, right? To lock together, to mat together. I was looking for the word, to mat, right? It didn't take that long. I think maybe not that long, like weeks, like maybe 3 to 4 weeks. It took for me to kind of keep the rubber band on so that they start to mat together. And once I saw they start to mat together, I would take the rubber band off. And boom, they were matted, right? And then it just grows out so you guys can see, look. I think this is more than 6 inches. This is probably fucking 9 inches, yo. That reminds me of dudes be like, oh, I got a 9-inch penis. 9-inch dick. Some motherfuckers be lying to my 10 inches. You know, goddamn well, your shit is not no motherfucking 10 inches, yo. Alright, so yeah, you guys can get an idea to see how much growth. Look at that. Ooh. And so this is how many months? 21 months? Okay. Okay, that's probably, this is probably fucking a good 12 inches right here, y'all. I'll pull up my tape measure and see how long. Like, looking at this. This shit long as fuck. Look at that. No, that's long. But anyway, let's keep going. So we have 3 left. We have 3 left here. I'm going to add some more rose water. I like doing story time. Of course, I have an autobiography that I wrote back in 2009 that I actually was going to publish 2010, but I held off on it for political reasons. And now I'm like, yo, I need to tell my story. It's so much to my experience and growing up. Many different experiences that shaped the person I am today. Different things that I've learned that I would love to share with you guys. And a message, yo, more importantly, that I need to communicate to the world. So that's going to come around soon. My book is called American Dreamer, my autobiography. A lot of people probably ain't even up yet, yo. Sleeping. I think I started this live. What time was it? Like 8? What was it? Like 8, 9 something? When I started this live this morning. It's a Sunday, so you know, a lot of black people be still in the bed, yo. A lot of black people don't even get up until like in the afternoon on the weekends. They be dragging that shit. I can't do that. I think there are times when I have done that though, but babe, look at that. Damn, that shit's thick right there, y'all. Yo, I'm just gonna let it grow out and just let it do what it do. So when I started these, of course, my hair was already long, right? When I started these freeform locks 2 years ago, and I thought about, they have like this tool that you can use, right? It's like a crochet needle, and you can like kind of interlock your locks and make them stick together and form like one long freeform. I thought about that, but I'm just like, nah, I didn't want to do it that way. I know there are people who have, though, people who already have locks and they want to do, like, bring their locks together and make freeform locks. So they use that tool to do it, but nah. I I like it this way better. I like that I live in New York and that New York is very culturally inclusive to the point where I can have locks as a psychologist at my freaking hospital where I work, and it's no big deal. Now, would I be able to have those in fucking Florida? Hell no, probably. I mean, no, times have changed now. They have that. They had to create a law called the Crown Act. Is that what it's called, right? So that employers cannot discriminate against black people on the basis of their hairstyle at work, yo. Like, what the fuck? You got companies that in their policy, they don't have things like, oh, you can't have locks, or you can't have braids, can't have an afro kind of shit, right? It's like, what the fuck? Basically, you can't be black. They're saying they don't want your black ass there. Essentially. Some bullshit, right? That's why there's a whole push for Pan-Africanism. A lot of people don't know what the hell that is, right? I was explaining to this lady at my place where I work. She's Jamaican, and she's like, I thought you were Muslim because of the way you dress. You know, you dress very ethnic and conservative. So she thought I was a Muslim. I said, no, I'm not. Definitely not a Muslim. I identify myself as Pan-African, and she didn't know what the hell that meant. I said, really, it's just a global movement to unite all Africans across the diaspora. And more importantly, to put our African identity above any other identity, first and foremost. And with that, to be self-sufficient, to be independent, to create our own infrastructure, to build our own schools, our own institutions, banks, grocery stores, everything, right? So a lot of people don't know what that is, but yeah, that's essentially what it is. It's a lifestyle, it's a mindset, it's a political identity. Oh, I love the way my roots feel. It's just, I love doing this, like I said, just for the sake of being able to touch my new growth. Yes, honey, yes. All right, this is the very last one, so that makes 12, right? We started with a 3 in the back, and the nape of my neck, and then the crown of 6, and then the 3 here. Makes 12. So we are done wrapping this thing up. And then after this, oh, look at there. Look how accurate I was in selecting the rubber bands that I pulled out 13 without counting, right? I usually do like right on the number sometimes. It's funny how I can eyeball things just that close and that accurate. Alright, so we're done. I do need to go get me some more products. I was thinking like, what I need from the store? I need to get me some. I should have got that when I was in Harlem yesterday. Today I think might be a much warmer day. I might go back out to Harlem today. And give me some soul food. From Amy Ruth's. I might have to do that. Yo, they got some fucking bomb ass fried chicken. They put honey on that shit. Maybe it's just my hair. It smells like weed, yo. I think it's a tea tree. I don't know what the fuck it is. Or maybe it's just, I don't know, me thinking about it. Alright, so I'm done. I'm going to do like a quick spin around. But yeah, I need to get like some more tea tree oil, jojoba oil. I need to get some more Vaseline, things like that. I was going to speak on the color of my hair because there's so many different colors in my hair. More recently, which I did a video on this when I colored my hair. I colored it, I think I used, copper, red, something. Go back and watch that video. I forget the colors I used. But I used 2 different colors, and bronze. It was like bronze, red. It was like bronze and red copper. And I love those colors to the point where, like, yo, I might have to go back, but I don't want to like dye. It's not time for me to dye my hair right now, but just go to get the colors just so when I'm ready to add some more highlight. But people often ask me like, oh, what color is that in your hair? And I'm like, yo, I have so many different colors. I couldn't even tell you what color is in my hair. So now I'm actually going to pull my hair up. There's different ways that I can style my hair, right? I can do like, I can leave the back down, do a little something like this. Which I never wear my hair like this, right? I never do that. But I could do that. People ask me a lot. People assume that I'm Jamaican a lot of times. So much to the point where I'm like, damn, am I Jamaican? I need to find out. Do I have some Jamaican roots in me? Shit, I'm like, I know I'm African, but maybe, right? Shit, fucking maybe. And funny enough, I have an older sister, half sibling. We have the same father, who also has locks. Now, we didn't grow up in the same home, right? But somehow we came around to having the same kind of hairstyle. That comes from something, huh? So, my hair thicker than a motherfucker. I love it. I love it. Alright, look at the oil, y'all. I'm about to just pull it up like I usually do. This is my go-to hairstyle. This is how I usually wear my hair at work, too, by the way. And I just swing it around like this. Like voila. And then see what is happening here. And I tuck this in here, like so. I think I might make it my way back out to Harlem today. And that's it. So it's funny, when I started at my hospital, I work with all men, on a ward with all men who have severe mental illness. But I love it because they have much respect for me. And they're mostly black. And one of the men, he usually says, nice crown. And I realized, like, okay, I know that your hair is your crown, right? My dad would tell me growing up that, oh, don't cut your hair is your glory. But then I realized, like, oh, my hair, the way I do my bun on my top of my head is like shaped like a crown. And I never intended it to be. It's kind of just a bun for me, like how I just pull up my hair to be out the way. But I'm like, dang, look at it. It's a crown. It's a big crown, too. And it's just continuing to get bigger and bigger and longer and thicker. Alright, so I'm about to end this video. Feel free to share your comments below and let me know what you guys think. I'll catch you guys in the next one. By the way, my finger is healing, you guys. This finger here, I think I sprained it somehow at work. Not even knowing. I think I shut my finger in the door. I remember, I'm like, damn, how did my finger become injured? Like, it's sore and it wouldn't move for like a couple weeks. And I think, like, damn, is that when I shut my hand in the door? Because it's a lockdown facility, right? So all the doors slam after you walk through them. They just slam. They're supposed to slam, right? They don't slam when something is up. Right, to keep the patient safe and secure so they don't elope. And so, yeah, I think that's what happened somehow. My hand got caught in the door. But anyway, I don't know, I'll end this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I can take you guys with me to Harlem. We shall see.